rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my God. Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. What a day, what a day, what a day. I hope you guys are doing well. Man, we got some stuff for you today. Look at this. Seattle is ordered to stop blocking illegal alien deportations in the most hilarious court decision ever. Well, what happened here? Federal court is just pooped on the oatmeal of the West Coast. West Coast governors and local election officials suffer from acute cases of TDS, or as we know as Trump derangement syndrome, who think they can stop illegal alien deportations after this hilarious and thorough takedown from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals they may never recover. With California Gavin Newsom calling the special legislative session to consider ways to fight Donald Trump, and Washington's governor-elect Bob Ferguson calling for a special legislative committee to fight the Heritage Foundation's White Paper Project 2025, you can see that Trump derangement syndrome among the far left, go ahead, say it, commies running the West Coast states are in full freak-out mode. Sadly, things have gotten worse for these very, very fragile men. A 3-judge panel from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals court ruled that King County, Washington can't stop Trump's deportation of Democrats' illegal alien voters. The conflict began in 2018 when King County, Seattle, Dow Constantine raised his emerald bejeweled scepter and declared that forthwith the Federal Immigration and Customs Service, ICE, shall no longer use Boeing Field, now officially called King County International Airport, to remove illegal aliens. Forever and ever, amen. Constantine ordered his employees not to listen to ICE, but to take the lead of a leftist group based at the University of Washington that proclaimed it was wrong for the country to provide the infrastructure through which private parties profit from operating the deportation machine. The private party guys running the charters were out of luck when the county said to stop or else. Constantine eventually added to his concerns that the anti-ICE protesters were causing disturbances like the Antifa and John Brown Gun Club member who tried to blow up the nearby Tacoma ICE detention facilities but got shot deleted as he attempted to attach a propane tank to his explosive device. Then in 2020, Emperor Constantine was sued in U.S. District Court by the Trump administration. And you'll never guess, it turns out that there's this thing called the Supremacy Clause. And Constantine's scepter couldn't magically bend the Constitution to his will. In fact, the district court granted that the Trump administration a summary judgment win and told the county to knock it off and stop blocking the flights. But Kings County Constantine wasn't done. He ordered his taxpayer-funded attorneys to appeal. He may wish he hadn't now, but I'm glad he did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten to read one of the most hilarious court opinions ever. And we actually do have that. If you want a good laugh with a side of scotch, the Ninth District Court said the county lied to the court when it said the executive order issued by Constantine didn't really have the effect of law. Would you like to see it? Would you like to see it? Well, we do have it here. We do have it here. It is quite damned hilarious. And we'll just give you the nice summary and the opinion. And it is about 29 pages of it. And some of this we will skip over because it's not really, really important to it. So here is what it had to say. The panel affirmed the district court's summary judgment for the United States in the governor's action alleging that King County Executive Order PFC 1-EO was directed county officials to ensure that the future leases at Boeing Field prohibit fixed base operations from servicing U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE. Charter flights violated both the Supremacy Clause, Intergovernmental Immunity Doctrine, and a World War II era contract reconveying Boeing Field to King County. The panel held that the United States had Article 3 standing to bring the suit. First, the United States had two related concrete and individualized injuries. The United States' inability to conduct the charter flights, which has increased ICE's operational costs, constituted a de facto injury that affected the United States in a particularized individual way. The United States also faced an imminent risk of future injury from the executive order. Second, the United States injuries were fairly traceable to the executive order. Third, the United States injuries are likely, as opposed to merely speculative, where there is a strong inference that the FBO would resume servicing ICE charter flights in the absence of the executive order. The panel held that the United States claims were ripe, where the executive order has already caused FBOs at Boeing Field to stop servicing ICE charter flights, forcing the United States to shift its operations elsewhere. The panel held that the district court had jurisdiction to evaluate the United States' claim that the executive order violated the party's instrument of transfer for Boeing Field, and correctly concluded that the executive order violates the instrument of transfer, which required King County to reserve to the United States through any of its employees or agents the right to make non-exclusive use of the landing area of Boeing Field. The panel held that the executive order violated the Intergovernmental Immunity Doctrine because the executive order improperly regulated the way in which the federal government transported non-citizen detainees by preventing ICE from using private FBO contractors at Boeing Field, and on its face discriminated against the United States by singling out federal government and its contractors for unfavorable treatment. And of course, it goes through all the counsel and a whole bunch of other stuff. And here is the opinion from the Bress Circuit Judge. For some years, United States Immigration Customs ICE chartered flights out of Washington's King County International Airport, also known as Boeing Field, to transport removable aliens from this country elsewhere. At Boeing Field, fixed base operators, FBOs, lease space at the airport provide flights with essential services such as fueling and landing stairs. In 2019, based on stated disagreement with the federal immigration policy, King County promulgated Executive Order PFC 71-EO, which directed county officials to ensure that future leases at Boeing Field prohibit FBOs from servicing ICE charter flights. Shortly after the county issued the executive order, all 3 FBOs operating at Boeing Field announced they would no longer service ICE. The United States responded by suing King County. It alleged that the executive order violated the Supremacy Clause intergovernmental immunity doctrine as well as World War II era contract conveying Boeing Field to King County. The district court granted summary judgment for the United States on both grounds, and we affirm. And we're not going to go through all of the codes that it has here. It just basically says, dudes, you screwed up. And it goes on for 29 pages of all of this. And we'll get down here to, as the county acknowledges, no court has previously applied the market participant doctrine as defense to state or local actions that otherwise violate principles of intergovernmental immunity. But even assuming this county could mount a market participation defense in the context, the county was not acting as a market participant. And the tenor of the executive order and the county's many comments surrounding it, the county's broad objection to federal immigration policy does not reflect King County acting in the capacity of a market participant. The county argues otherwise by claiming that it had been issued the executive order due to its concerns about business disruptions and the liability from potential protests on airport property. To begin with, there's a lack of evidence of such disruptions. Regardless, the county claimed concerns about protests, which are referenced only obliquely in one of the small part of the executive order, cannot overcome the order's overwhelming import. The executive order is based on King County's view that the portions raise deeply troubling human rights concerns, which are inconsistent with the values of King County. While King County and its leaders are entitled to hold that view, the obvious policy and regulatory basis for the executive order prevents King County from invoking the market participant doctrine, even assuming it could be invoked as a defense to otherwise improper discrimination against the federal government. And therefore, King County's executive order breached the instrument of transfer and violated the Supremacy Clause. The judgment of the district court is affirmed as a big F you. I love it. I love it. The Ninth Circuit Court said the county lied to the court when it said the executive order issued by Constantine didn't really have the effect of law. And of course, as I said, it also cutting off the ability to ship out illegal aliens in Seattle didn't harm ICE, even though it had to find another airport. And while on the subject, the order read that the county discriminated against certain users of Boeing's FBO, which is against the law. In short, King County got laughed out of court by a 3-judge panel whose scalding decision was written by Daniel A. Bress, named to the bench in 2019 by Donald Trump. The decision had no particular poetry, unlike Supreme Court Justices Scalia or Alito's opinion. In fact, it read more closely to a Thomas opinion in which he lays out the facts and then, boom, lays down the law, in which, in fact, was, and never will be in King County's favor, at least according to this howler. The decision was punctuated by these phrases one seldom reads with such frequency and opinion. King County is incorrect in its reliance on the Supreme Court's Trump decision is misplaced. The county is mistaken. It read, King County's contrary arguments fail. And on it went. As in, we reject the county's assertion. There is no basis. The executive order violates intergovernmental immunity doctrine. The executive order violates this precept. This discrimination play on the face of the order contravenes intergovernmental immunity doctrine. And on and on. But reading between the lines, the Ninth Circuit Court, in so many words, said, are you people high? Where did you go to law school? When the court ruled against King County because Boeing Field was turned over to the county after World War II, they agreed to let the federal government use it forever without charge. The county claimed that the district court was unable to consider the case and that it should have been sent to the Department of Transportation or the FAA. Does the decision have legs? Oh, yes. Under the Supremacy Clause, there's room to go after Ninth District jurisdictions they believe can stop illegal aliens from being deported. Finally, If the federal government can fly them in with impunity, why can't the federal government fly them out with impunity? It is awesome. We're getting the warmest day of high of 40s, low of 50s today. Short-lived. So I'm getting a grocery list ready to go. Otherwise, I ain't going. Later, freezing again. Yeah, it's supposed to be cold, everyone. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. That's all we want is your safety. Oh my. Oh my. And of course, we have this wonderful little tidbit right here from another one from PJ Media. The morning briefing attack Dems and squish Republicans have knives out for Hegseth. What's this all about? Happy Wednesday, dear cruiser morning briefing friends. Marn Wanker would blaze some smoke on the water on a xylophone after a few boxes of high C. We knew it was going to be like this. The Democrats are still operating from a very old playbook, completely unaware that Donald Trump they're dealing with is now isn't the same guy they battled in previous two presidential elections. They can't change. However, so they are up to their same old nonsense, hoping to interfere with every attempt Trump makes towards a smooth transition. That's right. I'm going to transition so smoothly. It's going to be the smoothest you've ever seen. There's been a lot of brouhaha surrounding Pete Hegseth. The swamp creatures are so terrified of him running the Pentagon that they're refusing most of their smear campaign fire at him. I watched some of the drama play out on X last night. And it's this right here.
New reporting tonight by CBS News. The highest priority of the President of the United States is the safety and security of the American people. As the commander-in-chief, presidents rely on their defense secretaries to help carry out that solemn task. President-elect Donald Trump wanted a Fox News weekend host to hold that post, the 44-year-old combat veteran Pete Hegseth. But tonight, that nomination appears to be on the rocks. Hegseth is facing new allegations of sexual misconduct and excessive drinking. Tonight, CBS News has learned that Hegseth may not have the support of enough Republican senators to be confirmed for the job, meaning his nomination.
You think? You think he won't? You think that he'll lose that nomination? Do you think that they'll finally say no, we don't want him? We'll see. You won't know until it all comes down. Those confirmation hearings should be really entertaining to watch.
The nation is in serious jeopardy. CBS's Nicole Killian leads off our coverage tonight with new reporting from Capitol Hill. Good evening, Nicole.
Good evening, Nora. Sources tell CBS News at least 4 Republican senators would likely withhold their support for Pete Hegseth if a confirmation vote were held today, although
if it were held today, but it isn't being held today. See, that's the thing that happens in Washington. There's a bunch of backroom deals, a bunch of talking that goes in the back. Good morning, Mark. How you doing? And it is likely that he does get in there, and of course they are throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him. Everything. They did the same thing with Matt Gaetz, and they will do the same thing with any person that they try to confirm that isn't a rhino. That is their playbook. They don't want anybody in there that actually has some sort of standing to change the outcome of this country.
he and his team tell me they continue to go through the process to answer lawmakers' questions.
Good morning. Good morning.
Defense Secretary-designate Pete Hegseth continued to make the rounds on Capitol Hill today, seeking support.
What is your message to senators while you're here?
I welcome their advice.
But top Republicans
I welcome their advice, but I don't give 2 shits what you have to say, lady. Welcome their advice. I got things to do.
are now voicing concerns about the 44-year-old former Fox News host who was forced to step down as head of the nonprofit Concerned Veterans for America in 2016 after staffers accused him of financial mismanagement, sexual misconduct, and repeated intoxication. A lawyer.
They are really grasping, aren't they? Really going after this guy hard. I mean, you want us to really start digging up dirt on the politicians? Woo, buddy. You wouldn't be able to get a single one in there because they are some crooked sons of beaches.
For Hegseth has denied the allegations.
These allegations that have come up just in the last
12 to 14 hours are a surprise to all of us. And so, yes, he does need to address those because this was not something of which we were aware, nor was President Trump aware of them.
Oh, really? You really? Oh, so who cares if he gets buzzed? Exactly. Financial mismanagement? Shit. You're talking about the government here. Financial mismanagement. It's like the kettle calling the pot black. Just like no. You guys have the worst outcome of money spent to services rendered. You have the worst outcome. That our government is full of this crap. Absolutely full of this crap. They have the worst outcome.
The president-elect's team was also not aware of all of the details surrounding a sexual assault allegation against Hegseth at a Monterey, California hotel in 2017.
And it's an allegation. It's just this is the problem with allegations. You know, you can allege anything. Was he found guilty? Was he tried? Was he convicted? Or did they say there was not enough information there? Yeah, don't believe CBS. Exactly. I don't believe CBS. I don't believe NBC. I don't believe ABC. I don't believe Fox News. I don't believe any of the mainstream media because it's all spin. They don't dig in. Well, welcome, Stormy. Glad you slept in.
He has denied any wrongdoing and was not charged, but later paid the woman an undisclosed amount.
Yeah, that's usually how a settlement works. And of course, I'm sure don't believe them either, baby. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Don't believe them one bit.
Did you brief the Trump team at all about any of the allegations against you, sir?
Today, Hegseth also declined to elaborate on a 2018 email that his mother sent him alleging his mistreatment of women. According to the email published by the New York Times, Hegseth's mother wrote, "You are an abuser of women. That is the ugly truth, and I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego."
Can you just...
So his mother wrote that. Really? What kind of woman is she? Good morning, Volstorm. First, show me a combat vet who hasn't drank to excess. Second, I doubt he's in charge of the money for a charity. Exactly. Third, anyone can throw out an essay allegation. Exactly. Well, and his mother wrote a nasty letter too. Oh my God. His mother wrote a nasty letter. Shit. You wouldn't believe the kind of crap my mother would write about me. She thinks I'm absolute garbage, but that's only because I look like my father. Just like, come on. Do you trust the words of this lady? I guess that's what it boils down to. Any woman that would take a payday instead of putting him in jail is probably lying about what happened. Thank you, Dancy. I hadn't even really considered that. I mean, because you would think that if it was so egregious that she would have, that makes perfect sense. That is a very fine point, Nancy. Because maybe mom is a total bitch. Well, I know mine is. Say that in the nicest of terms. I guess I could put it in better terms, but no, it pretty much sums it up. It is amazing to me that is such a great insight, Nancy. I mean, that I hadn't really thought about that. But I mean, you break that down. If a woman was so concerned with this, that no amount of money is going to ease that kind of pain. Like, if that is absolutely true, that is going to be something you're going to want to see them suffer every bit that you did. And that's a long time prison sentence, and also puts them on a list where there's nothing that can be done. Once they're on that list, they don't come off of it. And that I would think that she would want that more if this had truly happened. That is wow. That's
describe
good
the
insight.
relationship with your mother?
I love my mother.
Hegseth's mother later told the Times she wrote the email in anger and her words weren't true. But South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham today said Hegseth has a challenge.
Well, screw Lindsey Graham. He's a piece of garbage anyway. Look, I love my mom, but we have definitely clashed. Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love my mother, loved my father, but no, we don't talk for a reason. Let's put it that way. Yeah, we keep that stuff separated, long distance, as far away as possible.
Challenging road ahead.
Some of these articles are very disturbing. He, obviously has a
How those ladybugs doing there, Lindsay? How those little ladybugs doing?
chance to defend himself here, but some of this stuff is going to be difficult. Time will tell. I like Pete. I've known him for a very, very long time.
I bet you do
Tonight,
like
we
Peter.
have learned that the Justice Department has signed an agreement with the Trump transition team to allow some potential nominees to undergo FBI background checks, which means that their personal and professional histories would be reviewed. Nora?
Oh yeah, like they're gonna current FBI is gonna be straight up about this kind of stuff. I doubt it. Well, if CBS News says it's okay, I couldn't keep a straight face throughout that either. We will get to some of the Republican senators in question in a moment. There's a lot of speculation about how this is all playing out. This is from a post that my town hall friend and colleague Matt Vespa wrote about Hedgeseth last night. He's qualified to helm our national defense. He was cleared of sexual misconduct circus. No charges were ever filed. And the story itself is suspect. Yet Trump acknowledges that tough nomination fights aren't needed right now, as he knows his border and domestic agenda items will also be tough sledding on the Hill. Since Hedgeseth and Matt Gaetz failed attorney general nominations were likely test balloons, gauging the Senate Republicans caucus and who will be the problem child on our side of the aisle, Gaetz ran into them, and they could sink Hedgeseth, which is why President-elect reportedly has a contingency plan. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Elbridge Colby, and an ally of J.D. Vance, was also named as a potential replacement. It was among the people who thought that Matt Gaetz' attorney general nomination may have been a test run to get to Pam Bondi. I don't really think that's how Trump rolls, but as I wrote at the briefing the morning after he announced Bondi's nomination, maybe he was doing his 4D chess thing. The Hedgeseth nomination feels different. However, I don't know about the rest of you, but I really get to the feeling that Trump wants him at defense. Hedgeseth is the best bureaucratic pick out of there to help straighten out that hot mess of a bureaucracy. Trump can't drain the swamp if he keeps filling it up with more swamp people. After all, here's what the Federalist Sean Davis posted about the Wall Street Journal article. Sources with direct knowledge tell me that this story is nonsense and indicate they've had enough with games being played on Hedgeseth's defense nomination by Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. One source said Graham, who has never found the war he didn't want to fight. Trump mulls replacing Hedgeseth with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and on and on. The only time that Lindsey Graham wasn't an insufferable squish was a brief period during Trump's first term. Even that didn't last long. It isn't surprising that he would pop up as one of the early problems now. Trump is going to need to do a lot of leaning on Republicans in both the House and Senate while he's got the majority for the next couple of years. There isn't too much at stake for the untrustworthy usual suspects to get the attention whore itch with grandstand, especially Graham. If Graham, Ernst, and any other Republicans are being difficult now, it would be a great time for the president-elect to start establishing the new Trump order. Or as I cannot say his name, Schlittler, Trump must break any senator who does not support Hedgeseth. Sounds like a good plan. And everything isn't as awful. It's just too easy. Let's see, it probably has music. Uh-oh, Cheeky when she gets going as fast as she can when she smells wet food. Oh, look at the legs. Look at cute little legs. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We are going to take a short break. I am going to go grab some coffee. If you've got a chance, go grab yourself a cup also. And remind me to turn that damn banner off whenever I get back. Go grab some coffee. Here's some otters and hummingbirds.
Windows chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy winners chat, we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, and inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy Winner's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we spam the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not a bluff. Here's why Donald Trump will bomb Hamas before the end of January. How in the hell is he going to do that? Well, because he will be sworn in on January the 20th again for a second term. Thank you, Lulu. I appreciate you sticking your tongue out at me. Shame on you. Towards the end of Mike Tyson's 3-year prison sentence for SA, famed sports writer Ed Schuyler quipped, "I'd rather be Tyson's first opponent after he gets out than his first date." Schuyler had a point. Sometimes it's bad to be the leadoff batter. 9 times out of 10, going first is the better deal. Like if you're in a college apartment with 5 other slobs and everyone's sharing the same bathroom, you do not want to use the bathroom last, especially the morning after a night of binge drinking, natty light, and gorging on 7-Eleven chili nachos. Oh, the humanity. But someone has to go first. In boxing, it was Peter McNeely who lasted a total of 89 seconds against Mike Tyson. Thank goodness McNeely never fought a real beast like Jake Paul, eh? In global politics, it will be Hamas who goes first, but at the end of January, Donald Trump is going to kick their Hamas. Hamas is the new Peter McNeely, following 4 years of Biden's complete and utter ineptitude. America's foreign policy is in tatters. The whole world is on fire. There's a hot war in Europe, nuclear saber rattling, chaos in the Holy Land, the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal, Syria collapsing, China bullying its neighbors, and just today, South Korea was on the brink of a coup. If you didn't see that being covered. Just go and watch Megan Fox yesterday morning or afternoon. I forget when it was. And she sort of went in depth with that. And that was a little crazy. That was a little bit of a crazy scene. Donald Trump will need to reestablish American deterrence as soon as possible. It's job number one. Fortunately, he knows how to do it. Think back to the early days of Trump's first term when the outgoing Obama administration insisted that nothing could be done about ISIS. Trump redirected the U.S. military to wipe out those terrorist PSHs off the face of the earth. What Obama claimed was hopeless, Trump solved in just a few months with his ingenious strategy. He killed them all. Turns out dead people can't fight anymore. Weird, but hey, who knew? Prediction. Now, this is not policy here, and nothing I say could ever be taken as truth or seriousness. But immediately following his inauguration, watch for Trump to double down on his deterrence doctrine by blasting Hamas to smithereens. What worked with ISIS will work with Hamas. It's Trump's nature to be opportunist and strategic, pursuing the most cost-effective means to reestablish deterrences in the shortest amount of time. It is bedrock principle for everything else. And on the heels of Biden's flaccidness, it's crucial for America's resurgence. Trump's foreign policy agenda is ambitious. End the war in Ukraine, rescue American hostages in Gaza, prevent a nuclear holocaust, renegotiate with Mexico and Canada, hit China with a gazillion new tariffs, kneecap Iran, sign new trade deals, and bring peace to the Middle East. And that's a lot. So think pragmatically, what would be the smartest, most cost-effective way to communicate to the whole world that America is now deadly serious and to screw with us at your own peril? Why, it would find a weak, isolated target like Hamas and to loudly and vocally demand the release of the American hostages. And then, when Hamas doesn't comply, you would unleash the unholy hounds of war, slaughtering the holdouts, reducing them to rubble. It would prove to the world that you mean what you say, unlike the Biden years where there are grave consequences to pissing you off. This is an implied threat, would give you an edge at the negotiating table, whether it's the Russians, the Mexicans, the Iranians, or anyone else. There's a risk to screwing over Trump that would never was with Biden because he showed up as weak. What happened? Time. Okay, time to go and feed the cat. Chat laters. All have a good afternoon, I guess. Thank you, Spawn Trooper. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're having a wonderful one. Trump didn't campaign to the wartime president. The ferocity of his language belies the heart of the pacifist. There's a reason why neocons like Dick and Liz Cheney despise him so much, but sometimes you got to break a few eggs before you can eat your omelet. Peace through strengths only works whenever people think you're strong, which is why Hamas will be scrambled by the end of January. I guarantee it. According to Scott Pinsker, is a public relations, branding, and crisis communications expert in Tampa Bay, Florida. His novel, The Second Coming, A Love Story, is available for purchase on Amazon. Thank you, Scott Pinsker. Oh my gosh. But we've got more. I hope you have a good one, Spawn Trooper. I really do. Trump has no problem pushing the envelope to ensure peace. Exactly. And that you're going to find quite a bit of. You're going to find quite a bit of these kinds of pushbacks. And he's basically said, oh, we're done playing. When push comes to shove, you don't want to be on the receiving end of Donald Trump at all. But of course, if you want to see the downfall of the Democrat Party, this right here might be it. The trans issue. I don't understand why Trans Ams would be the downfall of the Democrat Party, but hey, let's see what they have to say. The Democrat Party has long prided, no pun intended, itself on being the standard bearer of tolerance and acceptance. Yeah, and like I am the best gambler in the United States ever made. They are not a standard bearer of tolerance and acceptance. Matter of fact, if you want to go back through the Democrat Party history, you'll find that they are very intolerant. They are very much not accepting. They are very, very anti all of that. They only accept people that fall into their dogma. A strategy that for a time served them well, but their increasingly radical stance on social issues may be backfiring in a big way. Case in point, the 2024 campaign, where Democrats were caught flat-footed by Trump's savvy attack on camel toes, extreme positions on the Trans Am issues. The Trump campaign didn't shy away from highlighting Harris's support for tax-funded gender transitions for illegal immigrants. They hammered the point home with a devastatingly effective ad featuring the slogan, Camel toe is for them, President Trump is for you. The message was simple, resonating with voters, and proved just how out of touch the Democrats have become with mainstream media. It goes way beyond taxpayer-funded transitions. Their positions on butchering minors and letting men play women's sports are way out of touch with mainstream America, but it's not really mainstream America. It's just America in general. Yet the question that has yet to be completely answered is whether Democrats will recalibrate and move towards the middle. Right now, it doesn't look likely. Appearing on CNN Tuesday morning, Representative Seth Moulton, Democrat of Massachusetts, addressed the backlash he experienced over comments about boys playing girls' sports, warning that the Democrat Party risks alienating voters with its rigid stances and lack of open debate. Because, well, that's what you do whenever you're a Democrat, right? You have open debates. I don't know. I'm not for open debates because you don't have to debate a fact. There's no debating that. Men are men, women are women. That's just a fact. There's not any debate. You've seen where you don't debate somebody that's wrong. You just don't do that. That would just be like saying that the earth is flat. If someone believes that the earth is flat, well, it's not a fact. You don't have to debate them. Just don't. Moulton criticized what he called the party's liberal litmus tests. Yeah, I love those. If you don't meet those litmus tests, then you're not even allowed to share your opinion. If you don't agree with us, then you are not only are you wrong, but you're a bad person. He pointed to men who identify as women in sports as an example where dissenting views were dismissed, adding, so I gave this example of a transgender woman in sports. It's just one in many issues where we're not allowed to even have a debate, and many Americans are turned off by that. They say, why would I want to be a part of a party where my views aren't valid? They're not even up for discussion. The definition of a majority party is that you actually encompass the majority views of America, and a lot of people feel the Democrat Party is completely and utterly out of touch and has been for quite some time. Berman pressed Moulton on his blunt assessment of the party. Moulton doubled down, saying, we lost across the board. We've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, we lost across the board, and we got to make some changes if we want to start winning again. Can Democrats do that? Probably not. In fact, Moulton believes that he'll be primaried for speaking out on the Trans Am issue. I probably will be primaried, he admitted, and that's great. That just proves my point. You can't speak a sentence that's out of line and not get backlash from the left, but that's okay. Democracy. Well, see, there's your problem. You are back to toting that damn line again. We are not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. And this is where the Democrats will continue to fail, is because they have failed up. I think watching Biden stumble up a set of stairs was probably the most interesting story out there of the past 4 years. It showed how inept that the left is. They're just really good at falling up. Good to see you, Magic Angel. Glad to see you. And Just listen to him in his own words.
I want to ask you about an op-ed that you just wrote in the Washington Post. You've been in the news a little bit recently. You wrote the op-ed after the reaction to a statement that you had made that you would have concerns about your daughter playing sports with transgender girls or women. And you talk.
See that, and this is this right here, right off the bat, is the biggest problem that you're running into. They've changed the language so much that, are we talking about men or are we talking about women? You say transgender women, transgender men, stop, because you right there, you've already lost the argument. The left has lost the argument. As soon as you start hearing these kinds of words where you keep hearing undocumented migrants, when you start hearing transgender men, transgender women, you've already lost the argument. Because I'm going, wait a second. Are you talking about a man or are you talking about a woman? And if you start saying this transgender bullshit, you've lost me. I'm confused. I go, is it a dude, XY, or XX? What are the chromosomes here? Because you lost me with all this extra hoopla that you want to throw on top of it. Every time they talk about African Americans or Arab Americans, it's like, are they Arabs or are they Americans? It's one or the other. Like you can't be both. Like we're all Americans. If you live in America, you're an American, and natural born citizen, or you become a citizen of the United States, then you're an American. Really simple. Stop trying to confuse people and you might win this argument. But as soon as I hear this crap, I'm like, you lost me, son. You lost me. So are we talking about dudes playing in women's sports? Or are we talking about women playing in men's sports? I'm confused. So lost.
Talked about the backlash against that, and you said in this op-ed that you began getting calls actually to support from Democrats. Here's a quote. They were simply glad that a fellow Democrat would violate the moratorium on speaking our minds. It's the last part of that quote I want to ask you about.
Why won't you ask him? Why won't you ask him? Why won't you have something to say about it? Huh?
What is this moratorium on speaking your minds that you feel that Democrats have?
Well, we seem to have a set of liberal litmus tests. And if you don't meet those litmus tests, then you're not even allowed to share your opinion. I mean, this is the attitude that a lot of Americans feel the Democratic Party takes to the entire country. If you don't agree with us, then not only are you wrong, but you're a bad person. And these things are not up for debate. So I gave this example of transgender women in sports. It's just as one of many issues where we're not even allowed to have a debate. And many Americans are turned off by that. They say, why would I want to be a part of a party where my views aren't valid? They're not even up for.
Because that ends up being the problem. We don't have to debate. See, this is the confusion that I think a lot of people don't understand. There's no need to debate a fact. There's no need to debate a fact. Because once the fact has been established, the debate goes away. Then it just becomes an argument. The left is morally bankrupt. Who cares what they think? Exactly. That's the problem. People want to have a debate over this. It's like, no, it's like having a debate over the earth being round. It's like having a debate over the color of grass. It's having a debate over the color of the sky, or a debate of what is red. I was like, you don't debate that. Well, there's different shades of red. It doesn't. No. Now you're just being an asshole. It's like there's no debate that men are men, women are women. Doesn't matter how much you chop or cut or inject. It doesn't matter. Men are men, women are women. That's a fact. That's been proven. So why would you want to have a debate with an idiot that does not know these simple facts? God. See, this is why the left will continue to lose on these kind of bullshit. It's like having a debate about birds and time. They're not real. Exactly.
Discussion. the definition of a majority party is you actually have, encompass the majority views of Americans. And a lot of people feel the Democratic Party is out of touch right now. So if we want,
the Democrat Party has been out of touch for quite some time. Sorry, the Democrat Party has been out of touch for quite some time. And I think that this is where it becomes such a big problem with people is birds are not real. What shit's on your windshield? They're leaking oil. That's all it is, Hal. That's all it is. They're leaking oil. And it could be rain. Pretty lame, Miss Stormy Wind. Good to see you, Tracy Spencer. Oh my
want to
God.
start winning again, we've got to start embracing more ideas.
No, if you want to start winning again, how about this? Face fact. If you have a fact-based argument, you win. Fact-based argument, you win. That's it. Face facts. They can't do that. They can't do that. God.
I was tempted to call this op-ed tough love, but it's more just tough. I mean, there's not a lot of love in it, frankly. You have another quote in there that says, this should have been an easy election for Democrats.
It should have been. And you'll hear every excuse in the book right now in Washington. There's a lot of denial in the Democratic Party. Oh, incumbents across the globe were losing, or we didn't do as badly as the president in the House, for example. I mean, every excuse in the book.
Morning, Ali.
And the reality is we've got to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we lost. We lost across the board. And we got to make some changes.
Well, does it taste like it? That's what I'm wondering. It might taste like oil. You never know. Leaking fluids. Hal's like, I hate you guys. I am not tasting it to see.
If we want to start winning again.
Do you think Trump is right about stuff? Is that what you're saying here?
What I'm saying is that Trump, despite his sort of twisted morals and unconscionable beliefs in many cases, is able to tap into Americans' real fears and concerns.
No, see, this is why you will continue to lose. He's not tapping into fears and concerns. He's tapping into the truth. And the truth really hurts the fifis of a lot of people because they're just like, stop it. You have to understand that that's what Trump is tapped into, is just saying, this is how it is and this is how it's going to be. Can I see the blueberries in it? Maybe we can blame it on expert. It's always the expert's fault. It's always the expert's fault. That isn't blueberries, by the way. That is part of the fluid. And how do you know it's blueberries? Did you taste it to see? Does it taste like blueberries? Maybe it's not blueberries.
He's able to give voice to them. And when we deny those fears, for example, when we just said, oh, there's no problem at the border, or don't worry about inflation, it's going to go away. When we just deny those fears, then people are not going to trust us. We need to be trusted as honest brokers. And that means you're willing to have a debate about some of these issues, not just shut people down if they disagree with your point of view.
As I said, some of these comments have caused a bit of the stir around the country and in the Commonwealth. Are you worried about being primary?
Well, if the Democrats have anything to say about it, good morning, guys.
I probably will be primary. And that's great. That just proves my point, is that you can't speak a sentence that's out of line and not get backlash from the left. But that's okay. This is a democracy. I'm going to speak my mind.
See, this is why you will lose. And you will constantly lose. Making coffee. Anyone else? Making some coffee. I already have my coffee. I'm on my second cup. Man. Delusional is a word that comes to mind. Exactly, Clark. Delusional is a word that comes to mind. Wait, I thought it was all Jeremy's fault. It is, Joe. It is all Jeremy's fault. That's a lot. Thanks a lot, Captain Obvious. Yeah, exactly. Well, and this is the problem. You don't have to debate truth. Truth is not up for debate. Facts are not up for debate. You have to establish the facts. And once you work on the premise of facts, all the rest is just noise. Once you've got the facts, all the rest is just absolute noise. And that is the biggest problem with the left. It's just a bunch of noise. It is them standing in front of a 17-year-old child, beating on a drum, screaming at them, being misogynistic and hedonistic and evil and smug and cruel and wicked people. That's all it is. And once you see through all of that, no matter how much noise they're making, it just becomes that white noise in the background. Annoying, but easy to forget that it's there. Also dangerous, because those are usually the ones that are going to attack you whenever you ignore them, because they don't like being ignored. The left hates being ignored. They want that platform. They want to scream at the top of their lungs, at the top of the stairs, in front of everybody. Although it's usually just a bunch of gobbledygook. You have to listen to it and you go, really? Really? That's what the argument is? Can we all agree that killing children is bad? Can we all agree that chopping little boys and girls parts off is bad? If you can't believe that those facts are up for debate, and you think that those facts are up for debate, then there's no point in talking with you, because you've clearly lost touch with humanity and with the people. It's pretty simple. If you can't even agree on the basic principle of the argument, then you have no argument. You shouldn't even be listened to. My opinion.
Mine. I'm going to give voice to the concerns that I hear from the constituents that I represent, and I'm going to keep doing that.
Well, that's what he has to say.
Yeah, I'm still on a high, right?
What is it? Good Lord Almighty. So if Moulton is right, the Democrats who are willing to speak out against the racial, gender ideologues of the left are going to be purged, and the Republican Party tent, it's just going to get bigger. No, we'll just get more rhinos in there. That's all. Bonsai! When they scream, I think of meltdown incoming. Yeah, that absolutely is correct. Oh boy. We have more of this. This is crazy. Victims of weaponized lawfare condemn Hunter Biden. What are they talking about here? Victims of the weaponized Biden-Harris justice system, particularly January 6th prisoners and Trump allies, have spoken out against the blanket. Damn it. Hey, good morning, Celine. Good to see you. Good to see you. Particular January 6 prisoners, Trump allies have spoken out against the blanket pardon criminal Hunter Biden received from his father. Pro-lifers, parents concerned about woke school indoctrination, January 6 protesters, Trump allies, and COVID-19 policy critics have all been targeted by the Biden FBI and the Department of Justice. And some of them have spent years in jail. But if you're the Democrat president's crackhead litigious, crappy son-in-law, you can get off scot-free. In fact, Hunter Biden was just pardoned for committing the crimes that Donald Trump was impeached by Democrats for investigating. There's some irony for you, folks. Indeed, despite ample evidence of sexual crimes, including potential sex trafficking and the PDF files, tax evasion, illegal possession of a firearm, participating in his father's illicit foreign influence, money laundering, Hunter Biden has received a pardon from his daddy, and who thereby breaks his promise not to issue a pardon for Hunter. Of course, Joe is also protecting his own sorry, senile self. If you know whom Joe is protecting, every American his handlers happen to disagree with. Where does one even begin with the vast corruption and the rights violations of the Biden-Harris administration? The January 6 protesters are one of the groups most aggressively targeted by a weaponized justice system. Many of them landed in jail for years in inhumane conditions, some without trial. Last night during an X space, a number of J6ers, including Jake Lang, Philip Anderson, Leslie Gray, Jeff Zink, Trennis Evans, spoke about their own traumatizing experiences with police brutality and federal harassment on and after January 6th, and or the abuses they suffered in prison. Needless to say, they're disgusted by the pardon for Hunter, seen as yet another proof of a two-tiered justice system. Walkaway campaigner, founder, and January 6 protester Brandon Straka, who has been prosecuted and deplatformed, posted in frustration, "I'm still serving a sentence for standing outside the Capitol for 8 minutes. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden could have deleted someone over the past decade and nothing is going to happen." Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that one right there. I'll have to read that here in a bit. Donald Trump himself has been barded with Biden's DOJ lawfare, as his family members and his allies, including Eric Trump, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Miles Guo, Mike Lindell, Rudy Giuliani. Eric sarcastically commented on the news about Hunter's pardon, "Don't worry about the 112 subpoenas I have received over the past 8 years." Bannon labeled the pardon gasoline on the fire of a two-tiered justice system. Navarro called it a pardon mother of what the fucks. Meanwhile, even through violent pro-abortion rioters who committed dozens of attacks have yet to be arrested, peaceful pro-lifers have been sent to prison by Biden's DOJ for supposedly interfering with women's access to the baby-killing clinics. Young mother and pro-life activist Bevelyn Beatty Williams was sentenced to over 3 years in prison. Eva Edel survived the Yahtzees and the communists, but she could die in prison because of her pro-life witness. Likewise, parents who did not commit any crimes but who were challenging leftist policies at school board meetings are investigated and spied upon by the FBI as potential domestic terrorists. Then there's the censorship industrial complex built up by the Biden-Harris administration and most particularly enforced during the COOF pandemic, as Twitter files revealed. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg also admitted earlier this year to censoring the COOF discussions, even humor and satire, under pressure from the federal government. For those of us who were kicked off platforms and silenced for stating facts or opinions about the COOF, it is disturbing to note that serial criminal Hunter is facing far fewer consequences than the average Twitter user who said lockdowns were harmful. And that's very true. But you have to remember this one also, and this sort of falls in line with that particular bit. Censorship victim warns MAGA, don't trust Zuckerberg. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is kissing up to President Donald Trump, trying to worm his way into the MAGA sphere and pretend he's enthusiastic for reform, but as a victim of devastating Facebook censorship, warned Zuckerberg is not to be trusted, especially since he is yet to apologize to and restore the data for multiple users whose lives were transformed by online censorship. Crazy. Missed it. Oh, well, we're still here, Nanny Goat. Glad it's starting to come back. Is today Alien Fight Day? It might just be. It might just be. You'll have to see. Since then, Facebook censorship, including election interference censorship, continued unabated. Like many careful businessmen before, Zuckerberg was covering his bases in case Trump won the election without actually changing his and his employees' behavior. As a walkaway campaign leader, Brandon Straka, warned, don't fall for Zuckerberg's new act, especially not until he shows he really has repented of and tried to make restitution for his former actions. In 2021, Zuckerberg and company banned Trump from their platforms in one of the most flagrant instances of political bias censorship. Now, Trump is coming into office again, and then Zuckerberg is down in Mar-a-Lago on his hands and knees, playing up to the president-elect, his platforms previously silenced. At least one Trump advisor seems inclined to believe Zuckerberg is sincere. I think Trump team is falling far too easily for self-serving flattery. On November 29th, Straka posted his cautionary tale against relying on the manipulative declarations of Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook banned the Walkaway campaign group, over 511,000 members, and all of the thousands of stories of the people who joined and bravely shared why they were walking away with no justification, no explanation, and no path for appeal. Back in 2021, the walkaway leaders woke up one morning to find their Facebook accounts abruptly deleted. That included years of data, even business data, changing the lives of the walkaway campaigners who were disillusioned Democrats joining together to seek political alternatives. Facebook's also permanently banned the accounts of every person who was an admin of those groups, which destroyed people's personal businesses, deleted all of their cherished memories that were stored on the platform. Straka stated there's been no apology, no acknowledgement, no attempt to make this right. It's not enough for Zuckerberg to want to join us. He has an obligation to make amends by thoroughly changing his platform and reinstating wrongfully banned accounts. Straka and Walkaway were also targeted on Twitter after politicians and activists demanded censorship, as those Twitter files demonstrated. If you haven't read those, Matt Taibbi did a good job on those. Yeah, Facebook censored your abs. You got suspended for posting a pic of them a couple of months ago. Yeah. You think it's going to change? I think you meant Zuckerberg. That's about right. Strzok is absolutely right. High-profile conservatives, anti-woke users are regularly censored on Meta platforms, as MRC censor track database shows. Even small accounts, including my own, have recently been censored until Meta's massive censorship apparatus stops crushing free speech, and victims of Meta censorship receive an apology and restitution. Zuckerberg cannot be trusted for 5 seconds. Neither can YouTube. Neither can any of these platforms be trusted fully. Not whenever they have the ability to censor things on an open platform. Now, see, there's a big difference between these companies having an open platform and my platform here on an open platform. I can censor whoever I want to here because this is my space, my place, my home, my house, and I can censor anybody I want to on this space. Which really pisses people off whenever they find that out. They're just like, how can you? You're for free speech. Yeah, I absolutely am for free speech, but that is not my problem. Different space, different idea. And speaking of which, we have to do this here really quick because let's see if we've got this. There we go. This channel cannot confirm anything of what you see as true or correct because we're going to be talking about something that might get me in trouble. I'm just giving you the heads up that none of this is fact-based. This is only for satire and political commentary. The House COOF 19 report contains bombshell that DOJ secretly investigated nonprofit at the center a lab leak. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's a dictatorship. I'm a effing baby boomer. The House Select Subcommittee on the COOF pandemic has completed its investigation and has published its final report. This report concludes that the COOF most likely emerged from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. The panel cites biological characteristics of the virus and illnesses among researchers at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in the fall of 2019 to justify their conclusion. Now, these are their words, not mine. Chill out, YouTube. The full story of how the virus emerged and how it spread may never be known. The Chinese government is keeping vital information from the earliest days of the pandemic from Western researchers, and shamefully, the National Institute of Health is refusing to give Republicans on the committee key documents that could shed light on the continuing question of whether this particular COOF had been tampered with to make it 1,000 times more contagious and more lethal. The Department of Justice has been secretly investigating one of the primary suspects in the lab leak theory, and its president, Dr. Peter Daszak, are being scrutinized because of questions surrounding several grants that EHA received from various government agencies. The details of the investigation remain secret. However, emails and documents from EcoHealth Alliance and other sources point to the investigation centering on genetic sequences used at the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the correspondence between Daszak and the scientist at Wuhan known as the Bat Lady, Dr. Shi Zhengli. I think I have that right. And this is from the New York Post. The House COOF panel agreed that a bipartisan basis on Dasak, who was already referred from criminal prosecution before his organization was federally debarred, should never again receive U.S. taxpayer dollars. A letter attached to the report by subcommittee chairman Brad Wenstrup, Republican, Ohio, states. In response to questions from the Post, the spokesman for the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Coomer vowed that the committee will continue pursuing records and answers that have so far been withheld from its investigations. Representative Morgan Griffith, who sits on the Energy and Commerce panel, told the Post that the report reveals the inadequacies of NIH's oversight. NIH failed to get the required information, progress reports, and vital information is paid for by the American taxpayers, Griffith said, while adding that it confirms some of the ideas that they advanced in hearings and depositions will lead NIH officials and Dr. Dasak. One $1.4 million NIH grant was titled Understanding the Risk of Bat Coof Emergence. Emergence in this case meant studying how the virus could jump from bat to human. Former NIH Deputy Director Dr. Lawrence Tabak later admitted that the $1.4 million earmark for EcoHealth Alliance Bat Coof emergence study was a gain of function research. In order to study the emergence thoroughly, the virus was made 10,000 times more contagious. The particular virus is not related to the coof, but it indicates the shocking stupidity of Dasak, who put a lot of trust into China's third world lab at WIV. The resulting virus, and I'm not even going to go into that. Dasak's ignorance knows no limits. EAH was more than 2 years late in reviewing one of its Wuhan projects on Batkoofs. Those experiments likely violated safety protocols from the NIH regarding biosafety, and the HHS Deputy Director Assistant Secretary for Acquisition. Jesus Christ, couldn't you shorten your name and just say they're just an assistant secretary? As part of the grant, EHA has been allowed to disprove that taxpayer money was spent on those gain of function researches, but failed to do so. They were allowed to, but failed to do so. Something insidious was going on in Wuhan. The Chinese are still stonewalling more than 3 years after the investigations into the origin of the coof began, and Peter Dasak is running interference for them. The communists either destroyed critical evidence or they're still hiding it. That choice would be yours to make. Oh, whew, I'm about to sneeze. I know I can feel it coming. Okay, didn't sneeze. The various committees in Congress looking into the pandemic's origins will continue to grind away looking for the truth. It's a slow process, but vital to discovering how we might avoid the next one and what to do to fight it if it does come to that. Yeah, that is absolutely insane. Betsy, you're merely a warlord. Break glass in case of emergency. That is exactly it. Oh, on with some more J6 stuff. Oh my God. This is so crazy. An ex-FBI agent convicted of stealing some cash, including from a J6er. A former Houston FBI agent has been convicted for repeatedly stealing money while conducting searches. Yeah, you don't want to break the glass on Volstorm. Yeah, that's a serious thing you don't want to ever do. Including from a January 6th protester, Nicholas Anthony Williams stole more than $10,000 doing searches and faces up to 10 years in federal prison and potentially a $250,000 fine. He was convicted in September. He will be sentenced in January, and this incident highlights once again the corruption within the FBI, the need for reform, and also the unfair treatment of January 6 protesters, all in one tight bundle. Federal court documents, according to Houston Public Media, detail how Williams, who was on the criminal violent gang and counterterrorism squads, embezzled and wrongfully converted $1,200 he seized while he was executing a December 2020 search warrant in Houston. Then, in March 2022, Williams stole more than $4,000 while executing another search warrant in a residence. Another victim was apparently a peaceful J6 protester who happened to be inside the Capitol building, the People's House, but seemingly did not do anything except wander the building. The third instance occurred on January 12, 2023, when Williams took over $1,500 in several silver bars from a then suspect being investigated for his role in the January 6 protest at the U.S. Capitol in February. Alexander Fan pleaded guilty to the federal misdemeanor for entering and remaining inside the U.S. Capitol building during the protest, and he was sentenced to 12 months in prison. Williams committed 2 more similar thefts in July and September of 2023. The FBI said he also stole several phones from the department in 2022 and misused a government credit card. The cash and assets were well over $10,000. With that stolen money, Williams bought firearms and accessories, because what else would you do? I plan to stay on false storms. Good side. Thank you very much. Yes, you always should. While multiple FBI whistleblowers have exposed the rot in the FBI, including politically biased witch hunts, hailing Donald Trump's FBI director pick Kash Patel as aggressive reformer, U.S. Attorney Al Hamadi tried to pretend Williams is a major exception in the FBI. Really? FBI agents uphold society's trust by relentlessly pursuing justice and protecting citizens with unwavering integrity. Williams betrayed the legacy and the community's trust when he decided to pad his own pockets at the expense of citizens' right. Because no one is above the law, the system of justice that he once swore to protect will now seek to hold him to account for breaking that oath. Saying no one is above the law is inspiring until you consider that the FBI was part of the extremely partisan lawfare against Trump and his supporters, as well as pro-lifers. Williams is not so much an exception as the FBI and its allies would lead you to believe. The chaos All Storm's intro causes your dogs to create is insane, and that's behind a screen. I can't imagine breaking the glass. I had to tell the kid next door that school is delayed for 2 hours. He started warming his car up 10 minutes ago. Good Lord. No, thank you. I don't like the cold. Oh, I hate the cold with a passion. There's a reason why I want to move closer to the coast. I just don't like it. Just don't like the cold. Keister Bunny. Yeah, Keister Bunny's awesome. Oh my gosh. Now see, I don't know anything about this, but this could be an interesting story right here. Could be a very interesting story. Sickening Catholics for Choice post about Jesus and Mary highlights the left derangement. And we talked about this before. They are a little bit deranged. A disturbing pre-Christmas post from a fake Catholic group illustrates how truly demonic the left's worship of the abortion is. The group's Catholic for Choice, whose name is a total contradiction in terms, since Catholics are required to accept as doctrine the condemnation of all abortion, posted online as Advent began this holiday season. Remember that Mary had a choice and you should too. It is unclear if the group thinks it would have been fine had Mary told the angel Gabriel and God no when she was told she would be the mother of the God-man Christ, or as the group is saying Mary should have had the right to abort the Savior of the world. Either way, the implications are highly distressing and illustrate how sick the left is with the death cult worship of the abortions. The Catholic Church has always condemned abortion unequivocally, based on its teaching of the Bible and the teachings of the apostles, which explicitly forbids abortion. Abortion is always brutally ends in a innocent human with a unique and immortal soul, but it is also very harmful to women, putting them at much higher risk of depression, self-harm, and suicide, among other risks. Science also has established that human life does certainly begin at the moment of conception. Both science and nature, therefore, bear out the church's moral teaching, yet the group Catholics for Choice, like Joe Biden and other Democrat politicians, dares to pretend one can be both Catholic and pro-abortion. Not only that, they must need to be sacrilegious and try to drag the Blessed Virgin down to their level. As I recently observed, woke Marxists not only hate Western history and culture, but they feel compelled to claim every holiday and hero for their own. They rewrite the truth, twist it, corrupt it, and this is how they entrench their demonic ideology. After all, who would prefer hell to heaven if he knew the truth of both? It's only because hell and its minions, including woke radicals, are ever so clever at lying that people are enamored of evil. The cleverest of the minions put on a veneer of religion as Catholics for choice do to mask their hateful goals. The death cult is self destructing. The West is already headed for a major population collapse, and by demanding ever more abortions and castigating any and castrating gender surgeries, leftists are trying to speed up the demographic suicide. Fortunately, it seems that an increasing number of Americans are starting to realize that families and children are desirable, that woke activism is hardly life fulfilling. The pro life founding fathers knew that without Judeo Christian morality and religion, America would be lost. We should heed their advice if we want to renew, rebuild, invigorate America. Now, I don't have to believe everything that they do. That's a very interesting thought. That this Catherine Salgado is a contributor to PJ Media. She also writes Rogue Review, Media Research Center, and her Substack Pro Dio at Liberate. She received the Andrew Breitbart MVP Award for August 2021 from the Rogue Review of her journalism. Way to go, Catherine. Thank you for the thought. That really is some deep thoughts. See, I'm not Catholic. I don't believe in those beliefs, but I also have certain beliefs that do line up with that. So don't know what to say about it. It's just a story. Anyone with daughters should have that concern. Anyone with a human bit of emotion should have that concern. Anyone. Oh my gosh. This is going to be an interesting one for sure. This one right here. Hey, Shizzy, Volstorm and all. Good to see you, Yamaha. Glad you could make it. Glad you can make it. Tonight should be an interesting night tonight also. Let's hope I'm able to do a little bit of a stream. We'll see. We'll see how tonight goes. Let's see. Let me do this. I think we got about another 30 minutes before I fire this thing down and give a little bit of insight. My dog ran to the first tree in the yard and came right back because it's freaking cold out there. It's absolutely cold out there. Watch this Democrats' reaction when CNN exposed his Hunter Biden pardon hypocrisy. Do you remember all those times Democrats cited Joe Biden's refusal to pardon his son Hunter as proof that, among other things, Biden believes in the rule of law and the independence of our justice system? These Democrats actually believed him. Those were good times, weren't they? Good times indeed. CNN's Brian Keller put Representative Dan Goldman on the spot during an interview Monday, asking him how he feels now in the wake of the pardon. He went out on a limb by backing up Biden when he said there would not be a pardon in July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through. She then played a clip of Goldman at the time saying the following question: do you think the pardon for his son would be a mistake? And Representative Dan Goldman says, yes, and I think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had access to him. And I think you can see in this case where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, and a Trump appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. And if it's not, then an indication of independent Department of Justice. Beyond that, I don't know what we could look for. Keller then pressed the representative, I mean, what does that feel like watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son? And he said, yeah, I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon. That was a satisfactory outcome already fallen. This, of course, is a lie. Hunter's plea deal had already fallen through when Goldman promised Joe Biden wouldn't pardon his son. But guess what happened next? Keeler actually called Goldman out for lying. Yeah. It had already fallen through. When you reacted, this is when the deal had fallen through. And I hear what you're saying about the Cash Patel appointment, but you took him at his word. So what does it feel like knowing that he's going to go back and watch the word salad
in July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through? This is what you said. I want to watch.
Do you think a pardon for his son would be a mistake? Yes, and I don't think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had any access to him. And I think you see that in this case, where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. If there is not an indication of the independence of the Department of Justice beyond that, I don't know what we could look for.
What does that feel like, watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son?
Yeah, and I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon. That was a satisfactory outcome.
It had already fallen
that
through.
Only was. Sorry?
When you reacted, this was when the deal had fallen through. And I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. He had to backtrack really quick. Really damn quick. Well, as I said, I'm disappointed after the plea deal fell through and became clear about why it did, including Republican congressional intervention in this case, which made the case very unique and very different from any other case. I think that we all, perhaps I should have as well, recognized that this is not the normal prosecution, he said. I said many times, if Hunter Biden were not Hunter Biden, he would never have been charged with these crimes. Well, the look on Goldsman's face as he was made to sit through a clip of his own words was remarkable. The buggy eyes and the uncomfortable body language spoke of volumes. Did it not? Did it not? It was amazing. Amazing how fast that they start backing up and all of a sudden it becomes this right here. A special prosecutor pushes back against president's claim that Hunter Biden's case was unfairly prosecuted. Special counsel David Weiss pushed back against Joe Biden's claim that the case against his son Hunter was selectively and unfairly prosecuted. The government does not challenge that the defendant has been the recipient of an act of mercy, but that does not mean that the grand jury's decision to charge him based on finding of probable cause should be wiped away as if it never occurred. Weiss filed a brief arguing that the judge sitting Hunter Biden's tax case should dismiss the indictment, even though the president had pardoned his son. It also does not mean that these charges should be wiped away because the defendant falsely claimed that the charges were a result of some improper motive. The special counsel said he added that no court has agreed with the defendant on these baseless claims, and his request to dismiss the indictment finds no support in the law or the practice of this district. Weiss also noted his filings that several federal judges had already dismissed Hunter Biden's charges of vindictive prosecution. On Sunday, Biden said when pardoning his son, I believe in the justice system, but I have wrestled with this. I also believe raw politics has infected this process and led to a miscarriage of justice, would be the pardon. That would be a serious miscarriage of justice. Joe Biden has a strange belief in the justice system. He directed his attorney general to prosecute parents complaining about school curricula while refusing to seek the death penalty for the 9/11 terrorist's mastermind. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong, is what Biden said. He says also that he's a very reasonable person, recognize there are extraordinary extenuating circumstances for this case. Ordinarily, we might forgive the president for his love for his son blinded him to the facts of the case. But not here. Hunter Biden is guilty. It's a slam dunk case. Even if Joe Biden actually believes that the Justice Department didn't bend over backwards to go easy on his son, but rather prosecuted him out of some political animosity, the facts of the case are as clear as day. From 2016 to 2019, Hunter Biden spent over $683,000 on payments, various women, another $188,960 on adult entertainment, $397,530 on clothes and accessories, and another $237,496 on health, beauty, and pharmacy. Most of those payments were taken as tax deductions. Imagine that. That right there is more than some people make in a year that he spent on payments to various women. One federal judge in April angrily dismissed Hunter Biden's claim of selective prosecution, the executive branch that charges the defendant is headed by that sitting president. Defendant's father, U.S. District Judge Marlene Norica, wrote, the attorney general heading the DOJ was appointed by and reports to the defendant's father, and that attorney general appointed to the special counsel who made the challenge charging decision in this case while defendant's father was still the sitting president. Defendant's claim is effectively that his own father targeted him for being his son, a claim that is nonsensical under the facts, she said. All those beauty products didn't do him justice. Well, he got a new grill after rotting his teeth out on crack. Of course, the defendant argued that the indictment was a product of vindictive and selective prosecution. The court rejected that claim, finding that the court stated at the hearing, defendant filed his motion without any evidence, and there was none and never has been any evidence of vindictive or selective prosecution in this case. It noted that Hunter Biden made similar baseless accusations in the Delaware case, which that judge rejected as well. 3 appeal courts panels also rejected Hunter Biden's arguments, the filing said. I really doubt Joe Biden cares what people think of his unconscionable and indefensible pardon of his son. Biden's misuse of his power would hurt him politically if he were running again, but since he's not, he gets a pass. Unless a federal judge reverses the pardon, highly unlikely, Hunter Biden is free to continue his dissolute ways. Yeah, love how they talk about Trump when the Biden-Obama administration are fixing our mixed bag of crime family. Oh, the irony, the hypocrisy. Biddens. Not enough coffee yet. Yeah, you're right. Biddens. more like bidets. They do like to wash the poop. Just saying. But even more so than that. I think we just need a slight coffee break. That's what we need. I think I need some more coffee. So I'm gonna kick us here, grab a little bit of coffee. We'll be back in just a short bit.
Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, and inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, from inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we spam the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Yeah. And our next little story here is Biden tosses a giant middle finger salute to the coal industry on his way out that effing door. Joe Biden doesn't like coal. I mean, he really, really doesn't like it. What's more, coal is mainly located in red states and employs a lot of conservative voters. Biden has decided to deliver a parting shot to coal producing states and those livelihoods that depend on the mining. The Bureau of Land Management recently approved an amendment to the Resource Management Plan, RMP, that would ban new coal leases in Wyoming's Powder River Basin and make 48.12 billion short tons of coal unavailable for leasing consideration in order to reduce greenhouse gases emissions as a proxy for climate change, says BLM Buffalo, Wyoming field manager Todd Yeager. The ban will block any new federal mining leases in Wyoming's Powder River Basin by 2041. The Powder River Basin is the nation's largest coal producing area. The Trump transition will almost certainly look to reverse the decision, but that means court battles for years. Families have suffered under the past 4 years' war on American energy, which prompted the worst inflation crisis in a generation. Voters reelected President Trump by a resounding margin, giving him the mandate to implement the promises he made on the campaign trail, including lowering energy costs for consumers. Think about this. Think about this. In North Carolina, right now, there's people still living in tents. There's still people living in tents. There's still people going through gallons and gallons of diesel for generators just to get a warm meal. Yet this is what Biden wants to play. The U.S. energy market is moving away from coal to lower priced natural gas and renewable energy sources, said BLM in its statement. Of course, gas is a lower price. The government has piled so many restrictions on mining and burning coal that was once a cheap, plentiful resource that supported working families is now a pariah of the energy industry. Montana's Republican Senator Steve Daines said in a statement that Biden is once again on the attack against coal. At every turn, the Biden administration has launched attack after attack on Made in Montana energy, and the people of Montana and the rest of the country rebuked the administration for it at the ballot box, Daines said. Eastern Montana is rich in coal and mining operations, and the job and the coal produced in the Powder River Basin help support our national security, bolster our energy grid, and create some high-paying jobs. From the Washington Examiner, despite Congress direction the federal lands under BLM control be managed for multiple uses, the Biden administration's crusade against responsible coal extraction continues, wrote Governor Mark Gordon. BLM's decision intentionally ignores both the energy needs of our nation, the devastating economic impacts on its decision has on Wyoming and its community. Montana's governor echoes the similar sentiments. Once again, the Biden-Harris administration is ignoring states and crippling our energy supplies, said Governor Greg Gianforte. While Montana supports all of the above energy strategy, the White House is picking winners and losers on the president's way out the door. Simply put, this rule will destroy coal jobs to fund the public education in Montana, and it is a disaster. Naturally, the Greens were dancing naked around the maypole, which is not uncommon, congratulating themselves for their efforts in bringing the U.S. back to the horse and buggy days. Coal has powered our nation for many decades, but technology, economics, and markets are changing radically, said Paula Antone, Western Organization of Resource Council's board chair. BLM's announcement recognizes that the Coles era is ending. It's time to focus on supporting our communities through the transition. They love transitioning away from coal, investing in workers, and moving to heal our lands, waters, and climate as we enter a bright, clean energy future. As of January 2023, China had 3,092 operating coal-fired power plant units. More than half the world's coal-fired electric generation occurs in China. Why don't you tell them that the coal era is ending? See what their reaction is going to be. 2025 is going to be fun to watch unfold. Yes, it will be. It is going to be insane. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy, and I hadn't, because I never really was a big fan of this once popular, made popular again band. The Village People's Victor Willis defends Trump using the YMCA on the campaign trail. If you knew what that song really meant, you wouldn't use it, Trump. I'm just saying that's a horrible decision. Victor Willis, a founding member of the Village People, shocked many this week when he defended allowing Donald Trump to use the song during his campaign rallies. In a Facebook post, Willis noted that Trump had proper BMI license and that he chose not to revoke permissions after seeing Trump genuinely enjoy and having fun with the song. To the Village People, fans, and the media, I am the singer and writer of the lyrics to the hit YMCA. In fact, I was adjudicated and ruled in the U.S. District Court. I wrote 100% of the lyrics, and my writing partner, Jacques Morali, wrote the music. Since 2020, I've received over 1,000 complaints about President Trump's use of YMCA. With that many complaints, I decided to ask the president-elect to stop using YMCA because his use had become a nuisance to me. However, the use continued because Trump campaign knew they had obtained a political use license from BMI, and absent that license being terminated, they had every right to continue using YMCA. And they did. In fact, I started noticing numerous artists withdrawing from President-elect's use of their material. By the time I said to my wife one day, "Hey, Trump seems to genuinely like YMCA and he's having a lot of fun with it," Willis explained that he decided not to block Donald Trump's use of YMCA despite many artists withdrawing their music. He wrote, "I simply didn't have the heart to prevent his continued use of my song." Willis instructed his wife to inform BMI to keep the Trump campaign's license active. Although his French partners initially considered legal action, he told them to stay out of the freaking matter, emphasizing it was a U.S. issue, and they agreed. Willis noted the benefits of Trump's use of the song, stating YMCA was stuck at number 2 on Billboard chart prior to the elect's use. However, the song finally made it to number 1 on the Billboard chart after over 45 years. He also highlighted the financial success, estimating the song has grossed several $million thanks to Trump, adding, "I'm glad I allowed the president-elect to continue use of YMCA, and I thank him for choosing to use my song." Willis also rejected the claims the song YMCA is a gay anthem. There's been a lot of talk, especially of late, that YMCA is somehow a gay anthem. He continued, "As I've said numerous times in the past, that's a false assumption based on the fact that my writing partner was gay, and some, not all, of the Village People were gay, and that the first Village People album was totally about gay life." Sadly, when the president-elect started using the song, people attempted to brand the song as a gay anthem, reached a fever pitch, as many used to say, "Oh, Trump don't know the song is a gay anthem." This was done in a matter of attempt to shame the president's-elect's use of the song. As I stated on numerous occasions, I knew nothing about the Y being a hangout for gays when I wrote the lyrics to YMCA, and Jacques Morali, who was gay, never once stated such to me. In fact, Jacques never told me how to write my lyrics. Otherwise, I would have said to him, "You don't need me. Why don't you simply write the lyrics?" I therefore wrote YMCA about the things I knew about the Y in the urban areas of San Francisco, such as swimming, basketball, track, and cheap food and cheap rooms. And when I say hang out with all the boys, that's simply 1970s black slang for black guys hanging out together for sports, gambling, or whatever. There's nothing gay about that. He concluded the true anthem is YMCA's appeal to people of all stripes, including President-elect Trump. But the song is not really a gay anthem or any other that certainly people falsely suggest that it is, and this must stop because it's damaging to the song. Well, see, it is. You're spot on. Biden hasn't got the mental capacity to make presidential decisions. Why would an artist deny half their fan base access? Don't know. Don't know. Don't know at all. But as you guys were asking about earlier, isn't today the day for this? It could be. Could it be the day for this?
Ahí viene.
Oh my gosh, what is that? What is that?
Sonic Boom.
Ah,
Ahí viene, ahí viene.
holy
Señores,
cow.
señoras, ahí viene.
What is it? What is
Ahí
that?
viene el booster. Hace con nosotros. Ahí viene el booster. Hace con
I think you
nosotros.
guys know what this is.
Vamos, vamos.
What's happening?
Enciende. Ahí está.
Boom.
Vamos.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen,
Aquí viene el booster, muchachos. Ahí está la torre. Ahí
is
está la torre.
how they land the rockets. Isn't that amazing? And it went up with a big kaboom.
Les dije.
Hell to the yeah. Hell to the yeah. That's pretty damn awesome. I loved it. I loved it when I saw that. I was like, I've got to show that. That is just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Loved every second of that. And I gotta have the right kind of music for this next one, because it's got its own music. But I've got to get some different music for it, because, well, Stevie Nicks might get a little upset. So well, let's give it a little bit of this, just a little bit of fun music for you guys.
Looks like I'm living rent free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown up here? All right, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Put it on my plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy, Daddy, take your pick. I'm owning it. That's what you said. Call me Daddy. It's what you need while you're chasing.
You know it's so good.
That's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on the game. You said I'm too old? Well, here's a surprise. I'm the one on the right.
Who's your daddy?
They were, who's your daddy? But first, the Hellball Store.
Morning, everybody.
Oh man, how you doing this morning, brother? You having
Doing
a
good,
day?
man. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good.
Surviving.
Good.
That's all that
Gotcha.
matters. Surviving.
I got you.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Oh,
Cold AF.
yes. God, it's so cold. It has been, and it's
It's still fall. It's still fall.
it's still fall. Aquarius! It is still fall until what? December or something?
Like
December.
21st, 22nd. Hell, I
Yeah.
don't know.
So do you think
can't
the aliens are
I
gonna
can't
come
keep
today?
up, man. Do what?
Do you think the aliens will come today? We'll have big alien fights.
Well,
They didn't
you
say
know,
if they were illegals or not. They just said that
They
it
just
would be the
said
United
LA
States military.
yeah, they just said aliens up in the sky and we'd be fighting them. It's, you know,
I don't know if they said aliens
knows?
up in the sky or aliens.
I thought it was. Oh, well,
I don't know.
See,
I don't
that
know. I
could be
guess
true.
That could
part
be true. We could have a war with aliens.
They could be like, all
Or
right,
the
we're
U-
closing down the border, and then it starts a big fight.
Yeah, then they start fighting each other, and then the U.S. military steps in and they start fighting.
Yeah, I could see that.
Totally could happen. I think they'll lose, but hey.
Yeah, I think they'll lose horribly, but you know.
Yeah, but they'll be fighting each other too, so that'll be interesting to see. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah, all the news today has just been really interesting. I've got I do have something that I'm probably going to cover tonight. I'm hoping that I'm able to, and it has nothing to do with the Cankle twins or Bubbles or anything.
Well,
like
that's
that. So we'll just-
disappointing. That's why everybody comes to watch you.
No, they don't. Jesus, I hope they don't. If that's the only reason people are coming to watch me is because
Although
of
I will say,
Ghost
I did watch Megan Fox last night.
Yes.
And once again, Yamaha did a tremendous job of pulling off Hans Gruber.
Oh yes. Oh yes, he did. Oh, and it is like less than 10 minutes of absolute love. I mean, I'm serious. It was so glorious. I was watching that in the background, everybody. It was
Yeah.
really good. It was really good. I hollered out at Megan, gave her a big shout out, and I thank her for giving a big voice to Yamaha. That is wonderful.
Absolutely.
It really is. I mean, it just warms my heart because this man has the voice like you. It's amazing, just absolutely amazing.
And the music you put to it was just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
The good part about that is we discussed it. Because I'd forgotten to do the music, and so we were talking about it, and he goes, "Yeah, I got it sent to you, and this is what it looks like."
Right.
And so I already had that. I could have showed it that night, and we were talking after Monday's stream, and he goes, "Yeah, I can't wait to hear what it sounds like with the music." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, I actually do have the music there. I just forgot to add it in before I uploaded it. So I gave Megan I gave her a link to the one without the music. I was like, "Oh crap! I gotta pull." So I ended up pulling that one and uploaded it with the music, and Yamaha listened to 3, 4, 5, 6 songs. Some of them he was like, "Oh hell no," but when we got to that one, he was just like, "Yes, that's perfect." So, and it fit. It just fit like perfect. And we got the sound levels right on it. Yeah, like 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all it took at the most.
I did make a comment. I said Christmas doesn't start until Yamaha falls off at Nakatomi Plaza.
And then Megan promoted you and you got demonetized. Oh. Yes, the music was a cherry. Without it, not the same reaction. Yeah. I am telling you, the music did really, really make that.
I'd have still had a good reaction to it just because it's, your words and Yamaha speaking as Alan Rickman, but man, the music just really intensified it.
It did. Well, and I've heard it without the music, and you put them side by side.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now that if you listen to them both, you hear inflections that the music covers up some of those and really makes it just flow so much better. I was like, "Oh my God." And I'm so glad that Larry got on there last night too. He had no idea.
I missed him. I missed him being on there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was towards the end of the YouTube portion of it. Then they went over to Rumble after that. He left before they went to Rumble. They did a whole bunch of read all through the super chats, and then went over to the Rumble side, which was even funnier if you didn't catch the Rumble portion of it.
See, it was funny because the whole reason I tuned in is because I knew that was going to be on, and I hit it at the exact right moment. I was like, "Yes, they're playing it." So it
Were you
worked out.
surprised? Were you surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised. But it was hilarious, man.
Oh my God, yes.
It was hilarious.
Oh, that was the thing is Megan and I were talking about that, and she had no idea. She
Really?
absolutely had no idea. She was like, "You've got to be kidding me." I was like, "No, I'm dead serious." You've heard about the villages, and she was just like, "Yeah, I mean, it's just a retirement community." I was like, "Oh, here, let me show you something."
Oh, here, let me pull up some articles.
And I said, "You've heard about the loofahs?" And she was just like, "Tell me that ain't so." And she's reading. She's like, "There's no way." I was like, "Here's the video." She was like,
Yeah, it's known. It's known.
She goes, "What color are those things?" And she goes, "I think that's teal, or is that black, or is that?" I can't really tell what color that is. I was like, "Nope, it's clearly black." It's like they got every color they possibly could on there.
Too bad they don't have a loofah emoji in the.
Oh my God,
dude, that'd
If
be
they
hilarious. You raid somebody's stream, put a bunch of loofahs in there. That'd be hilarious.
Oh God, especially their stream. You know how you have the different colored thumbs?
Yes,
the thumbs
yes,
up.
yes.
Except they'd be different colored loofahs. Oh my God.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious. Oh. Don't worry, I'm working on a new song for that one. It's gonna be unreal. Oh, it's gonna be fun. You'll see.
Hey, just
But
trying to put a smile on your face for the Christmas season. That's what it's all about.
Oh man. Yeah, we got the holiday season that is absolutely coming up. And it's coming up quick. It's gonna be Christmas before you guys know it. And it's gonna just get and then we're running into January 6th. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the day they have to certify the election, which coincides with another famous January 6th.
Yes. But you realize that other famous January 6th only lasted for a couple hours.
Oh no.
People tend to forget that. They think it was an all day kind of thing. It was not. It was.
You think there's going to be
2 hours.
protests all day on January 6th?
Yeah. No.
You
not
know
a
there is.
one.
The day they're certifying the election is January 6th. You know there's going to be protests.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there will be. Here, Tug or Megan's. It was on Megan's, and the only place that you're going to find that information is on Megan's Rumble side about the loofahs. So you have to go watch her.
But the segment is on her YouTube side. So go check out Megan's YouTube page. And I forgot how far into it was, but you will die
the
laughing.
loofahs? The loofahs?
No. I'm talking about the segment with Yamaha. The loofah stuff is on the Rumble side.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The loofah stuff is on the Rumble side. Yamaha's is on the it's pretty quick in there. It comes up pretty damn quick. And I'm so glad that he's getting a shout out. And it will right now you can see it on my YouTube if you're a member. That was a little perk that you get for being a member of this channel. You can see the whole thing with its unedited music and the beauty of Yamaha's voice. Now, if you're not a member, you're going to have to wait until tonight. Tonight, the rest of it will come out. But if you cannot wait to see the whole thing and hear the music much better. Now, I didn't realize this, but on Megan's, whenever she did it, the music didn't sound quite right.
Yeah, it did sound a little bit off. But I mean, it was still great. But
it's still great.
Was a little bit off. Yeah.
But if you listen to it on the YouTube side here, it definitely sounds much better.
I was dying.
But only if you're a member. If you're not a member, well, then you're just gonna have to wait. You just have to wait. But I'm
wait till tonight.
Wait till tonight. Sometime I think around 7 or something like that. I think the thing will kick off. I don't know what time I'm going to stream tonight. We'll have to see. I've got some plans of what I'm covering, which will which will not be unless something new comes out, which I suspect it might. And if it does, then I'll cover that with the
No, they're busy
with the hail stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. Need to watch Megan's rumble from last night. You fell asleep. Oh, well, that does happen. That does happen. Yes. Yamaha's reading was great last night. It is going to be beautiful. You have to laughing your ass off. Oof. Man, that's a lot.
Do you have it to spare? That's a good question.
That is a good question. You know, baby got to have a little bit of back there. You know,
that's right.
Sale. Calibrating character membership never used. Still in box. Comes with bathrobe and curlers.
You must have bought that on the black market because we don't have members.
No, they don't.
So
yeah, the only way you could become a member is if they were monetized, and they're not monetized.
We are not.
But we'll have to work on that.
I know.
Have to work on.
I know. I still have good stuff on there though.
Yes, you do. Oh my gosh, Down Home Network. Oh.
Down Home Network, caliber and character.
Yes.
Yes.
Good stuff. Hey everyone, miss saying hi to. It's been a morning and just got coffee. Well, that's always a good thing. We have hit that 2-hour mark. I am going to shut this bad boy down. I thank all of you for coming by and supporting the channel. Just make sure you've got the like and the subscribe and all that kind of nice stuff. You know, if you've got the little ding bell thing, whatever they call that. Is there a name for that?
The notifications. It not promising it'll work, but hit it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, especially if I'm running late setting it up, because usually it's like it'll give you a notification about a half hour before. But if I fire up get the stream set up a half hour before, it won't notify anybody.
Yeah.
It just all of a sudden you'll see that it's live. But that does happen. That does happen. Let me see if I've got this thing set up. See, that's one screwy thing that they've been doing. Like they've got. Whenever I set this stream up, like I set it up last night, and it was giving me a damned hard time. And I hate when it gives me a hard time because it's always a pain in the butt. But there we go. I am going to send all of you folks over to go watch a little bit of Meme Copium. Show him some love. Don't throw corn cobs up there because he's not going to know at all what that means. But he is going over the George Floyd stuff. So go and check that out and show him your love. Make sure that you give him a little bit of a like and subscribe. And you know how this ends. You know how it goes every time. If you stick around after the credits, I have a little message for you.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
And shine, coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious This is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Remember, Pat's off